All right, and we're live. Are we live? Yes. Testing, testing. One, two, three. What? And we're live. Okay. So, welcome to me and my channel. My name is Dr. Stephanie Pierre, aka Siren Creatrix. So, when you're getting on, say hello so that I can say hello back to you. In the meantime, let me just double check to make sure that it's working well and the volume is good and all of those tech things, my favorite tech things. Okay. And then we'll get into it. I have a really, really great message for you guys about... Okay. Yay! So welcome. Okay, great. Okay, so let's get into it. So... No, that's not it. Here we go. Hold on a second. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. All right. So something that I want to talk about that is not only applies to the phenomena of the eclipses, but that more specifically applies to the phenomena of this family of eclipses, or rather this eclipse axis, Pisces and Virgo, is the question of why we as humans tend to separate ourselves from separate ourselves from what we need and or separate ourselves from what we want. Okay? And the reason that humans do this, and humans do it unconsciously, they do it obsessively. It's like always feeling separate from what it is that you need and or separate from what it is that you want. Really boils down to the phenomena of the eclipses. But as it pertains to Pisces, it really has a lot to do with boundaries. And so I want to take the time to clear this up, because when I talk about boundaries, this goes for a lot of people, and a lot of people, you might think that a boundary is about keeping things out. Okay? And so although there is some truth to that, the real function and or the real purpose and like the healthy expression of having boundaries is the purpose of keeping in what it is that you value and keeping out that which you do not value. Okay? And it requires actually a level of intimacy in order to have healthy boundaries. And this is why, if we want to talk about the most basic form of boundaries that we have, like on a physical level. And so, we're talking about Piscean things. Everybody knows about Pisces, it's all oneness, right? Like we're all one, we're all merged, right? And so think about that, how can you have a boundary when everything is one, right? When we're all merged, right? There are no boundaries. Things become boundless, right? And so, but that's not necessarily true, or that's not the whole truth. And so what we need in order to actually have the complete Piscean expression in its fullness, in its illumination, is to include the Virgo axis, which Virgo is all about the material, right? It is the most concerned with material. That's why we call it Virgo is the ultimate material girl. And so, but when it comes to the body, right, like the most simplest expression of a boundary is the human skin, right? And so it's funny that this is coming up, because this has been a conversation that has come up in my one-to-one space, my one-to-one clients talking about skin things, so breakouts, rashes, stretch marks, cellulite, any of those things. Like, this is showing where there isn't a health happening, at the level of when it has to do with boundaries and also intimacy. Because, okay, I know I'm saying a lot of things, and they may feel like they're not the same and or connected, but they actually are. I promise you that by the end of this, everything always comes back to the heart of the matter. Okay, it's like in order to know what it is that we value and or that we don't value, we have to have a level of intimacy with ourselves. Let me know if that makes sense. And or if you're just like, yep, that, yeah, I understand that, right? Like that's pretty, that makes sense, right? It's like, yeah, so in order to know what I value, I, on some level, need to have a level of intimacy, of self-knowledge, of into me I see, in order to ascertain what it is I actually value and what it is I don't value, okay? The thing is that, you know, when it comes to family, and we'll talk about one-to-one personal relationships as well, but especially when it comes to family, is that so many people, without even realizing it, you onboard and or you assume the values of your family blindly. Meaning, well, this is how my family did it. Therefore, this is how it must be. This must be the only way. This must be the right way. This must be the best way because that's how I was raised. That's what feels comfortable. That's what feels familiar. That's what I'm used to doing. That's what I'm used to seeing. So therefore, that must be what my value is. I must value this because that's what I was taught. Let me know if this is landing. Let me know in the comments. Be honest with yourself of like, yep, like that's, you know, but the thing is that so many people are doing this without even realizing it. They're just taking on blindly. And there's nothing so necessarily wrong with this, except when it is. And so I'm going to get to that in a moment. And I work with, who I love working with, is I tend to work with artists, misfits, the fringe dwellers, the black sheeps, the weirdos, the people that feel that maybe when they were younger they didn't belong, or maybe they felt misunderstood, or you know, they felt like the black sheep, right? So it's like in your own home, and or maybe it wasn't in your home, maybe it was just in your early environment. It could have been your school, could have been your religion that you were raised in, like any of these things where you felt like you didn't belong. Let me know if that lands and or if that resonates. You know, and if this was you, right, it's like either one, you're always going to feel like there's something wrong with you. You don't belong, you're misunderstood because you've assumed that the values and or the religion of your family is what you value. Okay? And so, hey Lauren, thanks for tuning in. Yes, I know that you resonate with this, girl. I cannot wait for this conversation. Wait till you hear it. It's so wonderful. So some of us have taken the time, right, to actually start going on this journey and being like, yes, like that's actually not what I value. That's not authentic to me, right? Without making it like a big deal, or without making it wrong, or without making drama unnecessarily, you know, with our family, with our early environment, because they're different from us. Okay? But then a lot of people, you know, again, like you don't even realize that you're doing it. The way that you like one of the biggest ways that has been like you'll notice this with people is that people will tend to decorate their homes the way that their mother decorated the home. Right? They'll even like arrange things. They'll tend to recreate the way that their mother and or their early home looked and felt like as their own without even realizing it. And that's the key, because it's an unconscious thing. You're taking on, you're assuming the values of your family as your own instead of taking the time to investigate and be like, what do I value and what do I not value? Okay? So that's one way that this shows up, right? And so what a boundary is a boundary, instead of being like a boundary is keeping things out. I want to propose for you that actually what a healthy boundary is taking personal responsibility for your happiness. Meaning that when you have a certain level of intimacy, and intimacy means requires honesty. It's a level of being honest with yourself. And that sometimes a lot of people can bring up challenges too. Your first apartment, why was it a lot like your home? Let me know. That was something that used to drive me up the wall. Like living with somebody else, and it was just like they like insisted upon their house looking like their parents' house, and it was like, oh my God, like how are you not seeing this? So anyhow, I can relate, girl. Okay, so but coming back to what I was saying is there's a level of honesty, because when you get honest with yourself and you say, actually, I don't value this the way that you do, then what happens is you're risking, there's a level of, and it's not true, but the survival mechanisms within the subconscious mind turn on and say, wait a minute, no, if I don't like what you like, you don't belong in the tribe. You don't belong here. You can't like something different than us. You're not like us. You're different. You don't look like us. You don't walk like us. You don't talk like us. You don't smell like us. You don't breathe like us. You don't fuck like us. You don't do art like us. Insert the whatever. And there's a lot of whatevers. And so when it comes to the Piscean energy, which is about oneness, right? It's like the undifferentiated sea of oneness, right? And you assume like we become all one, we're all the same, right? Except that's not the full truth. The full truth is that even at the level of the oneness and unity, or God consciousness, and or even let's talk about the quantum field where all potentialities and all realities exists, it is still a differentiated whole. And so said another way is in all of the religions throughout all of the worlds, I'm like in all of the lands and in all of the worlds, all of the things, God has many, many names. Does he not? Let me know if you're like, yep. Like in Christianity, God has many names. In Judaism, God has many names. In Islam, God has many names. In the Vedic culture, God has many names. Insert whatever religion that you want. It is very like unheard of for the supreme being, guys, vanity, okay, for the supreme being not to have many names. And that's because defining the oneness and or defining the different individual aspects of God doesn't limit God. It actually only adds more to his magnitude or to its magnitude. You know, staying away from like the masculine and or present, pronoun of God. It only makes God even more by defining the different attributes and or qualities of the supreme being. And it's the same with us, is like, yes, there is an aspect of me that is you, and you are a part of me, but you are not me, and I am not you. And though this is a subtle nuance, that what happens in families, and it's what happens in relationships, where once you start merging with people and forming bonds with people, it can make people very uncomfortable, and you don't realize it because you think, like if you're different from me, then that means that means something. That means that we're not on the same page. It's like we have, but it only actually, it's only when you are seeing somebody as they're not a part of you that that becomes an aspect, right? It's like you make a judgment about it, and it's usually coming from fear. People, the human mind tends to fear what it doesn't understand because it can't control it. When we're operating in the distortional aspects, when you don't understand something, you tend to fear it because the mind can't control it. But that's the beauty, is that as you grow and as you expand, you realize there is so much that you still don't know. There are libraries upon libraries that you don't know about yourself, about another human being, about the world, about God. Knowing God, like I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and it was just like, okay. Knowing God is an extremely sophisticated experience. And even when I have the experiences that I've had, and I've shared these in multiple forms and multiple ways, I know you as well, Lauren, has experienced, the many different mystical experiences. Like even those, when you think you know God as good as you know God, you still don't even know God. Because as a human being, you are not God. There is an aspect of us that is like God and or is God's twin. But knowing God, the God that has no source, like God doesn't need anything. He is his own, or she, whatever. It's its own self-perpetuating experience. You know what I'm saying? So let's side tangent that, because I don't want to go in that direction for now. But coming back to, there's many names for God, right? And so what happens with people in relationships, though, so we were talking about like what keeps people separate from what it is that they need and or what it is that they love. In families, it's the distortion with the boundaries, right? Not actually really knowing what you value, that's not inherited from your family. Being honest with yourself that maybe what you value and what you need is different from your family, or different from your friends, or different from your community. Okay? And then when it comes to one-to-one relationships, this is what I see all the time. I mean, like all the time. And this is at the heart of the eclipse phenomena, is, well, that person needs this. And so because that person needs this, if I pay attention to them, or if I give them what they need, then that means I have to sacrifice and or compromise, and or my needs won't be met. They win and I lose. They get what they need, but then that means somehow I don't get what I need. Let me know if that one comes up for you, where you're like, and this is a Piscean thing, but this can play out in other areas of the life, not necessarily a relationship, right? Like it can show up in, if I show up for my business, then that means I don't get to spend time with my family as much as I want. Or if I, take care of my kids and I'm taking care of my home, then that means I don't get to have a career. That's another one that I see a lot, right? It's like the work-life balance. And it's based upon a false premise that something outside of you is not a part of you. So said another way, it's like if you're looking at your relationship and your partner needs something, and you're like, well, if they need this, then that means I won't be able to have what I want. Or vice versa. If I actually ask for what it is that I need, and or if I get what it is that I want, then that means they're going to be put out. They don't get what they need. They're going to have to suffer. They're going to have to sacrifice for me. So I just won't even bother. Let me know if that lands, and or if that has ever happened to you, or if that is happening to you, or if you're like, actually, like, that's exactly what's coming up in my relationship. I'm seeing that a lot, right? And that comes from the premise of that, because love means that that thing outside of you is a part of you. That person is a part of you. So every time that you take care of something outside of you, you're actually taking care of a part of you. And sometimes it's a part of you that you didn't even know was yours. You didn't even realize was yours. You didn't even know that you had. And vice versa, when you take responsibility for your own happiness, you are taking care of the other, because you are a part of them. When you take personal responsibility for your own happiness, you free yourself. You free yourself from codependency. You free yourself from making it anybody else's job, responsibility to make you happy. You're free. You're free to do you're free to do and go as you please. You're free to express yourself in ways you've never expressed yourself. Why? Because whose responsibility is your own happiness? If you don't feel free to express yourself and or show up the way that you want, talk how you want to talk, say what you want to say, you're not taking responsibility for your own happiness. Period. End of story. And there may be a lot of complications to that, but that's at the heart of it. And so let's go deeper into that. Because another way that this shows up, I've seen this a lot too, and let's bring it to, again, like the Pisces and the Virgo axis. Let's bring in the Virgo piece, which is money, the material realm. I see this all the time with women, all the time. I need him to make more money. I need my man to make more money, or I need my man to, contribute more. I need my man to step up. I need my man to do this. I need my man to do that. Fill in the blank, whatever. I need him to act like this, or I need him not to act like this, so that ... Let me know if that's, I got those. Those come up for me too. But I'm like a sniper with that bitch. So this is my work. So anyhow, I need my man to make more money. I need a man that makes more money. I need this, I need that. Here is the kicker. You can want all those things. There's nothing wrong. And here's the thing, is that you don't even realize that you're doing it. So many people, they don't even realize that they're doing it. It's still an unconscious thing. And so you cannot, and maybe this isn't, again, this might be with client, it may not be with your man, it might be with your audience. It might be with your customers, your clients, or the clients that you don't have, or that you think you don't have, or your friends, the friends that you wish you had. Like, again, remember, we're talking about, this is going to be where Pisces and Virgo shows up for you in your chart. So what houses it shows up for you, so apply it to those houses. So I need this in order for me to feel emotionally safe. So if we go back to the money metaphor, I need my man to make more money. I need my man to contribute financially so that I feel safe, so that I feel stable, so that I feel secure, so that I feel valued, so that I feel free. So I'm not worrying about things, so I don't have to worry, so that I feel free, so that I can do what I want and get what I want. You cannot even receive and or be provided for if you haven't first accepted and recognized it within yourself. Period. So I don't care how much you want your man to make more money, how much you want him to do X, Y, and Z with you, for you, your clients, your friends, your children, your whoever. I wish my children listened to me. Your kids acting up, people not doing what you want. My team, I wish my team would listen to me. Whatever, fill in the blank. Nobody can give you what you haven't already accepted and recognized within yourself. So you can want it all the live long day, but all you're doing is being codependent. And here's what happens with this, is until you get clear on your core need, and this is where we see cheating happen. People that cheat, people that are in infidelity relation, like this whole other conversation, nuanced conversation, you know, I know all about it. I have all the, I got all sorts of clients, polyamorous, the whole thing. So I can speak to all of the angles just so that you know. But let's talk about cheating. Somebody cheats because they weren't getting something that they needed. So they went outside of the relationship in order to get it. Not cleanly. It's the same thing. They weren't getting something. They weren't getting attention. They weren't getting validation. They weren't getting sex. They weren't getting the money, whatever. Or they break up with that person because they weren't getting what they needed and they didn't know how to get their needs met or thought it wasn't possible. Okay, so until you identify what the core need is and you're crystal clear on what the core need is, once that happens, you start sending out a clear signal. Sometimes you don't even need to communicate. And what I mean by that is 90% of relationship communication, romantic relationship communication, is nonverbal. 90%. 90%. You don't even need to communicate the thing. Don't get me wrong, intimate communication, verbal communication can be incredibly sexy. There's so many things that you can do with it and experience with it, but honestly, it's just the cherry on the sundae. When you get clear on what your core need is. And it's the same thing in business, in your career, with creativity. This can be applied to because you're in a relationship to everything. You're in a relationship to your body. What does my body need? I can't figure out why my body is like this, why I'm having challenges with this, why I can't lose the weight, why I can't get pregnant, why I'm having breakouts, why I don't have enough energy. There is a core need that is not being met, that you haven't identified, that is not happening. And so your body is sending out signals, which are known as symptoms. Your body, when a core need is not being met, sends out signals known as symptoms. This is why so many people, it's health is not working out and supplements and vitamins, and it's all these I need to do, that is not health. Those things are all great and those things are all wonderful, but vitality and health is about you knowing who you are. It's about you being you and you not being something that you're not. And when you are being you, you will have health in every area of your life. So you got to ask yourself, like, where am I not being me in this area of my life? Where do I have a value that maybe I took on from my family, or that I'm afraid to own because I'm afraid of being rejected and or shunned, made fun of, ostracized, judged for? Where am I seeing what I need as putting somebody else out, and or me serving somebody else, loving somebody else as putting me out, separating me from what I need the most, which is love? This is how you separate yourself from what it is that you need the most, what it is that you want the most, and what you fundamentally are. Because what it is that you need and what it is that you want, it's all already here. It's all already here, and it's all already available. So coming back to with boundaries, right? It's your responsibility to for your own happiness, right? And that's personal power. Once you come into, that's how you build power, right? Power is I take care of what's mine. Meaning I take care of what's mine. What is mine? Like my body is mine, right? Like I am the custodian and or the steward of this body. So I take care of what this body and what this body needs, what is in this body, the memory, the stories, the programming. I take care of those and how that creates my perception of my reality. I take care of that. I take responsibility for that. That's personal power. And once you're in your power, now you're free. You're free to, you become the gift. You become the gift, and they become the gift. Whoever you're in relationship to becomes the gift. And now, because you're the gift and they're the gift, there's a lot of gifting going on. There's a lot of gifting going on, right? Like there's more, right? Like there's a lot, like, and it's from this place that we experience the abundance that was already there, but we were separating ourselves from it. Right? And so now you're free to give and receive love. You're free to give and receive love. And when that's not happening, right? Like this is where, when you feel like you're not getting what you need, then this is where like the shadows of needing to manipulate people can come from. So narcissism, any of the toxic relationship patterns, manipulation, control dynamics, all of that stems from this. It stems from the fact that on some level, you feel like you're not getting what you need. You don't know how to get your needs met. So the only way that you feel that you can do it is to manipulate someone and or something, instead of just very clearly expressing and being the expression of your core need. So and then on the other hand, on the other side of this, right, you're free to receive and ask for love. You're free to receive and or ask for the love that you need. That's it. All right, so that's my message for you guys on this Pisces eclipse. Boundaries, the role that these boundaries tend to play, and how it, like, we run into distortion with these boundaries in family and or in relationships. Boundaries is essentially taking responsibility for your own happiness, which then leads to personal power, taking care of what's yours, and then freedom and abundance and expansion and growth. Because then once you're free, you take responsibility for your own happiness, now you can actually give to somebody. You can become bigger. Like, that's how you grow. You become bigger, because you can't really love somebody if you need to get something from them. You understand what I mean? Like, you can't truly love someone if you need something from them, because you're just using them to fulfill an unmet need. Whether it's you're lonely, or you need money, or you need security, you need validation, you need to feel accepted, whatever it is. It's like you're not free. It's like you're not free to give from your overflow. So this then allows for you to become bigger and to hold another human being in your love, because you've grown, you've expanded, you've become bigger, you've become a bigger person, you've become a better person. So so let me know how this landed for you. If you loved this, what's coming up, you're welcome. And if you're wanting to know more about the eclipses, I've got 2 other free videos that I will send directly to you. Specifically, if you want to know about the eclipses, the eclipse mythos, and the dragon ride that has to do with the Kundalini and the sex magic, and really like what these eclipses are about for you. Thank you. Let me know in the comments that you want that, and or if you want the eclipses as it pertains particularly to Pisces and Virgo, I can send that directly to you. And then also let you know that if you're wanting to work with me right now for this special eclipse portal, I have very limited spaces, and it's also only for the eclipses that I'm doing Telegram coaching. So you can I have people doing 6 weeks with me, but the minimum is 4 weeks, and it's 1 hour a week on Telegram, back and forth. People are like, as per usual, just another Tuesday in my realm. People like the money coming in, the relationships coming in, the expansions coming in. All of the things are coming in. And so this is a great way if you've ever been, either you're new to me in my world, or you've been wanting to like taste what it's like working with me, like get a taste of what it's like in the Star Disco Atelier. You can do the Telegram rapid fire coaching, which is 1 hour a week with me, and you can do either 4 weeks and or 6 weeks. The 4 weeks is $400. So you can pay in full for $400, or if you want to do 6 weeks, it's $600. And I also have payment plans. So this is only for the eclipse portal, meaning other than during this eclipse, this is not available. The only ways to work with me right now, as I have discontinued my membership, is the Star Disco Atelier. So the Star Disco Atelier is either working with me one-to-one in my mentorship, which is come get seen, come get styled, come get sexed, come get scented. I'm working with 2 queens in there right now, and it's so fucking next level. Like, I'm loving just like the beauty. I'm loving the beauty and like the soul care that these women are doing for themselves and their art, and how this is moving their art out into the world as a form of activism and self-expression. Their relationships are getting richer. Their bodies are becoming healthier and more vital. So this is, so that's the Star Disco Atelier. If you want more information on that, just send me a private message. And then if you want to really lean into the mystery school, and it's so much more than a mystery school, but for, so that you understand what I'm talking about, the Space Opera Star Lab and Studio, formerly known as the apprenticeship, I am taking and enrolling spots. And so that is my 1 year, like I said, is formerly the apprenticeship, but that's the other pathway of working with me. And it's a type of hybrid mastermind, I would say, like daily star conversations. If you love astrology, magic, and alchemy, and then we do a lot of like health and fitness and glamour magic. So good. And last but not least, rumor has it, the rumors are true. The rumors are true. Mars Moxie is happening in the Star Disco Atelier, but it's only inside, it's inside the Star Disco Atelier, and it's in Scorpio, no less. So if you want to join us for this Mars Moxie, it's happening inside of the Star Lab and Studio. So send me a private message, and if you have questions, this is by application only. So I only have limited spots, right? Like there's only and here's the thing, like the truth is I already have 2 queens. I do have space. Like I have space and I want clients. Like I am like, oh, like I just like, oh, I love this work so much. Like, and especially the activations. Oh, because it's so like, guys, like, you want stuff that can happen, like show you like who you really are. You want to see like who you really are and what you're truly capable of and what is truly possible. Quantum, light body, archetype activations. These are like where people get results in single sessions, right? Like nothing on the books. No sales, 2 sold out events, magazines chasing them. 1 session. That's it. People like going through a divorce, the child like having all sorts of issues, emotional issues. 1 session with the mom. Peaceful home, peaceful child, like how did this happen? 1 session with the mother. Frozen shoulder. Multiple surgeries. Nothing working. Not being able to lift the shoulder at all for years. 1 session. Gone. Held. This is what, but it's working at a different level. You're working at the root. You're working at the level where you don't have to go through the physical lesson of something to get it. So as you can imagine, I love doing these things because my clients get epic results and then I get to be a part of that. So I do have space, but only limited space because like I said, like as of right now, I've got 2 queens. And if you resonate as being a queen, then most likely that'll be what that's going to be. If you didn't see my post on the queens, you know. So there's limited spaces for the Star Disco Atelier. But I am enrolling spots. So this is by application only. And either way, like just message me. Like if you're curious about like, how do I get into this? Where do I start? What would be best for me? I have self-paced self-study courses as well available that I can recommend that are great as well. And or if you're ready to start working with me one-to-one, then I can discuss those as well. All right, guys. Bye.